facing the police every single day.
Lenore Brazzi. First name is Lenore, Lenor. Last name is Brazzi, B as in boy, Razzi. I'm the Director of Operations for the franchisee owner-operator Dana Cook. Okay. And when you folks are ready. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for your time to coming out and hanging out with us tonight. I'd like to open up with a statement, and then I'm going to hand it over to the chief so he can provide a statement and questions after that. We appreciate the Harrington Police Department's effort to thoroughly investigate this troubling incident. While we're glad that the evidence confirmed our evaluation that the McDonald's and our employees, crew members, were absolutely not involved, we stand with our community in being disappointed about these actions. We took seriously our role to be transparent and fully cooperative with Chief Hornaday and his department throughout his investigation. We look forward to continuing our strong relationship with the department moving forward. And our McDonald's family maintains great respect for all members of law enforcement and our military, and is with great pride that our restaurant is always open to them. Because this investigation is now officially a police matter and it's independent of McDonald's, I'll refer all questions back to the chief. Thank you very much. Chief? Thank you.
Thank you for coming here tonight. I'm Brian Hornaday. I'm the Chief of Police for the Harrington Police Department in Harrington, Kansas. I have a few statements to make here. Before I get started with that, I also want to thank Lauren and the entire McDonald's staff here in Junction City, Kansas, for how cooperative they've been, open, honest, and for the main simple fact that their investigation internally at McDonald's was no different than mine. They did so with the intent upon finding the truth, which is the most important thing. With that said, I want to let you know that the investigation conducted by both the Harrington Police Department and McDonald's has concluded. In that investigation, we have found that McDonald's and its employees did not have anything whatsoever to do with this incident. This was completely and solely fabricated by a Harrington police officer who is no longer employed with our agency. McDonald's and its employees, as I stated before, have been very helpful and cooperative in determining the actual facts of this matter. The actions of this former officer are absolutely in no way reflective of the values and the typical character of the Harrington Police Department. The duty of every police officer is to protect and serve with the highest level of integrity and trust. This incident has been an obvious violation of that public trust. Moving forward, Harrington Police Department will work tirelessly to regain the loss of trust with both McDonald's and with the citizens that we serve and any other person that this may have affected. Regarding a statement, that is all I have for you now. However, I will open it up for any questions that you may have. I'm sorry, dude, could you? The officer in question is a resident of Junction City, Kansas.
So are you going to be releasing his name?
Unfortunately, I have been instructed not at this time, or to not at this time release his name due to the matter being a personnel issue. I do not know if that can be anticipated to be released in the near future or not. But if it is, you'll be the first to know.
Did you provide any reason why he fabricated this?
He did provide a reason why this was fabricated. Unfortunately, the very beginning part of this, as the investigation that I conducted showed, this was meant to be a joke. However, we can see that how something so serious can get so out of control very, very quickly. The most important thing that could have been done and should have been done in this scenario was to come forward immediately prior to damage being done, prior to this becoming a nationwide incident. However, unfortunately, that was not done. All we can do is move forward with the knowledge we have that we know now, and hopefully we can do something in the future to avoid these types of situations and to learn from it so that we all grow and become stronger together.
How long had the officer been with the meeting?
The officer had worked with the Harrington Police Department for approximately 2 months.
Is there any reason why you're protecting his name, but originally it was okay to call out McDonald's for what happened? You know, a lot of people had their eyes on McDonald's and now on the police force. So, you know, is it a two-way street with this?
It is a two-way street with this. During any original statements that were made regarding this incident, for McDonald's specifically, there was not a specific named employee that was ever targeted. And the same goes with this matter, except in the same sense where that employee would have been a McDonald's employee, which would make it a personnel issue. The officer is also now a former employee of the city of Harrington, and it's also dealing with a personnel issue. The rules are pretty tricky where that goes, so we want to ensure that we do not cross any of those boundaries of employee rights. It's not a matter of us not wanting to tell you who it is, because we have no reason whatsoever to protect the former officer at all.
After terminating the officer, what is the next step in the investigation process as far as continuing to pursue action?
The next step in the investigation process, so as far as looking into the investigation with any other investigative measures that will be taken to define what is the truth, that has already been done. We are complete with our investigation. We now know what the truth is in its entirety. Any other matters that would happen from this point forward would be a personnel issue, which I cannot discuss.
Do you anticipate charges, criminal charges of any kind?
I have discussed this entire issue with the Dickinson County Attorney, and at this point, based on the information that she has been provided with, there is not believed to be any criminal charges. In the event that that does change, I would recommend that you reach out to her office for any further comment. Andrea Purvis. Yes, sir.
You said in your original Facebook post that the theoretical actions of McDonald's were a black eye for Junction City. Now that this appears to have been a Harrington employee, how do you think that reflects on the town of Harrington?
I'm very glad you brought that up. That is a very good point that you've made. The original comment, as far as saying it's a black eye for Junction City, that strictly means that somebody who is in this community has said something like that towards the law enforcement profession. Now, this is absolutely a black eye on law enforcement. I truly hope that the former officer of the Harrington Police Department that did this, I hope he understands the magnitude of the black eye that this gives the law enforcement profession from coast to coast. None of us can be excluded from that. What I do not want to happen here is for the American public to take a look at this situation and call into question the integrity of any other officer in this country. The best thing to do, as we have done, is rely upon the facts and details that can be corroborated. That is how you find the truth, and that is when you make judgment.
There were a lot of rumors that McDonald's here was getting threats and the employees were getting threats. Can you confirm if that happened at all?
I was informed by excuse me, I was informed by members of McDonald's management that that did occur. However, being a law enforcement officer, I'm not in a jurisdiction which I can act upon that here. So whether or not those were confirmed or not, you would need to refer to McDonald's for that question or to the Junction City Police Department.
We should not put that Facebook post up.
Hindsight's always 20/20. There's no doubt about this. But I'd like to say that, you know, when a chief of police makes a statement such as that first initial statement that occurred on Saturday morning, that statement was made after vetting the information from the officer. That statement was made after ensuring that what the officer said that he believed to be true at the time, along with the words that were used, including the fact of his belief that McDonald's had not responded appropriately. So it was done with the intent to garner attention to the matter in hopes of that a positive resolution would evolve. In hindsight, we can see now that there may be further investigation needed. in any type of matter like this. My hope was that, and still always will be, that when I ask a question to a uniformed, sworn law enforcement officer, their response is going to be nothing but the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. In this scenario, that turned out to not be the case. I sincerely hope it doesn't ever happen again, but I assure you that I will often question my decision about posting anything on social media because of the impact that it could have, mostly because everything we do, everything we say in the public eye is always brought into question. The one thing it's all based upon is the perception of the public, and that's the only thing that matters. Something else I'd like to add with this is the word integrity. The motto of the Harrington Police Department is vigilance, honor, integrity. We created that motto in October of 2018 when I took over as the Chief of Police, because integrity is the one and only sole trait of a police officer that you cannot allow to be damaged. Once you damage your integrity, you are done. You will not work in this profession ever again. Just as law enforcement officers in this great state of Kansas, when they get sent to KLETC down in Hutchinson, when they arrive and they walk in to the front doors, just prior to walking in those front doors, they see a big rock, and on that rock it says integrity is the basis for community trust. It is important to remember that our job is solely to do this job with the utmost integrity, because if you can't trust the cops, who can you trust?
What will you do to try and rebuild the integrity of the Harrington Police Department?
I would imagine that I don't have to do very much whatsoever with this incident, and I'm speaking from a nationwide perspective here, because of being in this field for quite some time, I would venture to guess that this sole incident here will be used throughout law enforcement training academies in the United States of a what not to do in 2019, 20, or in the years in the future. As far as Harrington, we have worked tirelessly for 14 months, lost sleep. I've lost a ton of hair in rebuilding that city, getting it back to where it is a safe community. We intend to keep doing so. That's why it's so important that everyone understands that just as what we originally thought was the act of a sole employee of McDonald's, which turned out to be false, this is the sole act of one person, not the Harrington Police Department. So, right now, with the parting of the former officer, now we are left with 5 full-time officers, including me.
So, Chief, you had an investigation. This former officer obviously told you it wasn't me, wasn't me, wasn't me. Then you came to McDonald's, looked at the video. Did you confront him, and did the person actually confess to doing it, or where did the investigation go after you saw the tape? And obviously, McDonald's is 100% not at fault here.
Okay. As part of any investigation, the detective in me has learned that my job is, of course, to find the truth, but it's also to keep digging. I'm supposed to be skeptical of anything and everything I see. You do not trust unless you can corroborate. So in this investigation, with the question you asked, that ultimately is what led to undisputable evidence that was shared with me by McDonald's. Once they shared that with me, that is the key that I needed to absolutely, without a doubt, say that this happened. From that point, my investigation continued on forward in a manner of which I could go forward with interviewing the former officer, and ultimately he did end up confessing to being the one and sole actor in this event.
What was his rank? What was his rank?
Rank, police officer, patrol officer.
Now, going back to the original coverage, you guys had looked at all the video in person, and this video never showed up. So, how did they come up with this new footage?
Oftentimes when we do investigations, you never want to reveal something unless you're absolutely certain, absolutely positive of what you are seeing. To do so otherwise would be very foolish on behalf of McDonald's and even the Harrington Police Department. So after meeting with McDonald's earlier today, I learned about their investigative technique that they use from start to finish, and I absolutely applaud them for everything that they did to protect the integrity of the investigation and to also find the truth. So with that, I have zero doubt that everything that they did was absolutely upfront, honest. They did not show me anything that they weren't 110% absolutely was valid. Once they had that confirmation, they provided it to us and allowed the investigation to move forward.
Was this the
Let's
first?
take one more question, and then we're
Was
gonna-
this the first incident with this officer regarding something like this?
Yes, at Harrington Police Department, we have a very, very long, drawn-out hiring process that we do that includes looking into the background of officers, any applicants that we take. If you can pass my hiring process, you are believed to be good to go. Unfortunately, with this officer, he made a mistake because he's human, he's young, and I surely hope that this does not define his legacy in the future. I don't believe he will. He's still young enough to be able to somewhat recover, use it as a teaching moment, and move forward. I believe he is 23 years old. Did I answer your question
Yes.
fully? Okay.
Thank you very.
Anything else? She said one more. I'll take one more if you got it.
Just one more.
I know you
this,
got another
yeah,
question.
Is this the only city that he's worked at for a police department?
Yes, he was employed with the United States Army as a military police officer for approximately 5 years. Upon leaving the United States military, serving honorably, he came straight to work with the Harrington Police Department.
Sorry, clarification. Was he fired or did he resign?
He resigned.
Okay.
I'd like to thank you guys for giving us the time tonight. Thank you very much. If you have anything else, you can defer to Chief on. We can set up with you, but we appreciate you guys coming down to see us too, okay?
So you confirm he resigns, and that's it.
Yep, that is the end of it. Thank you again, as Lauren said, for being here, hoping that this will get the word out. What I really hope too is that it's very unfortunate that more people don't have patience. This is a frustrating time that we have to go through, and we all want answers in this time that we live in, where we have a phone right at our fingertips that can tell us everything. But reality does not work that quick. We have to ensure that we know absolutely everything to be true before we can report it. What I hope is that all of the threats to McDonald's, to the Harrington Police Department, the officers of the Harrington Police Department, and to anyone else that have started and continued up and through today, I hope that those stop. I hope that people realize that this is the act of one person, not a department, not an organization such as McDonald's. Humans make mistakes. Make those judgments after the truth has been told. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got a double quarter pounder with cheese on my mind, and I'm going to go get it.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll go play golf one other day.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the weather's better.
We may just drive around the course.
I tried you around the course. Let you win. Because I don't know.
All right, well, might be kind of difficult.
Hey, Sherri County, this is Sherri County COPWATCH. I am using any video here with under fair use if you have criticism, reporting, teaching, etc. And please donate. I do not make money from YouTube, and there are different ways to donate in the video links. Thanks.